In the Trump administration, the cruelty is always the point. It is not enough for them to take away the most essential programs that keep people housed, fed, healthy, and alive. They also have to then go and own the libs in their celebration of making our country, our government, and really the entire planet much worse. And this is exactly what we have seen, not only with the attack on USAID, but how happy and gleeful MAGA is that people around the world are losing their lives because of it. And MAGA was posting about that in one specific tweet that has gone so viral for the rightful backlash that it has gotten, because not only is it disgusting, but it's also just straight up racist. And that is what Jasmine Crockett called out of this MAGA post, this Trump post that we're going to get into. But before we do, if I can quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really does mean a lot to me. Now, before we get into this post, of course, I want to hear a little bit more from the person who called it out. That's Jasmine Crockett and her defense of USAID.
Because I don't know that there's been a conversation about soft power, but soft power is basically our way of building diplomacy around the world. And so how we build that diplomacy probably looks different in every different administration. But the issue that I have right now is that some would argue that we've taken a butcher knife where we need a scalpel, or others would just say that we are throwing out the baby with the bathwater. But either way, we are not accomplishing our goal, because as it's been laid out, we have people that have gone hungry, we have people that have died. So let me try to make sure that people understand what it is that soft power is, which is building diplomacy. The next part of that I want you to understand, those of you that are watching, is that as members of Congress, we do have congressional oversight to the extent that we actually travel the world. We go, we sit down with world leaders, we talk to them about the programs that we have, we talk to them about trade. We also have an opportunity to go and visit and talk and see exactly how our dollars are being spent. And if you are a good member of Congress, you do that. And I do want to tell you about an experience in Africa, but I got to get through these other remarks. So if I have a chance, I'm going to tell you why I believe in this with my whole heart. We all know that my Republican colleagues have a weird fetish with dictators or wannabe dictators. So it should not come as a surprise that they're here attacking global democracy programs. For 6 decades, USAID has been vital in reducing global poverty and hunger, helping to resolve health threats like the Ebola outbreak, which reached Dallas, where I represent, in 2014, and countering regional threats from Russia and China. Not only is pro-Putin President Trump threatening economic warfare against our closest allies and partners, he's blaming Ukraine for Russia's invasion, threatening military force against Greenland, and starting tariff wars with Canada and Mexico. He's also defying a court order to release billions of dollars in U.S. foreign aid. This committee should be providing oversight of the executive branch's illegal impoundment of federal funds. But we're here today so that the chairwoman can peddle new conspiracy theories about U.S. foreign aid. The dismantling of USAID is just another part of the Republicans' chaotic foreign policy and pro-dictator agenda. Republicans are turning their backs on American farmers who provide nearly half of USAID's global food assistance. I'm going to stop here really quickly, because I think what happens is that when the American people hear that we're sending out money, they believe that we're just dropping bags of money places. And that's not what we do. But let me tell you, China does. China does, because I've sat down and I've talked to people, and one of the reasons that we are behind China is because they have argued that there is no red tape, and China is like gangsters. Like, think about the biggest, baddest guy offering you money when you want it, like a loan shark, right? And then when they come back to get their money, they want your firstborn, your secondborn, and everybody else. That is who China is. But a lot of people that are desperate for money, they go for that, because in America, we're going to say, no, no, no. We're going to take care of our farmers. We're going to make sure that our farmers are the ones that are giving you the food. We're going to make sure that if you want arms, those arms are going to come from us. So I want people to understand, we don't just go with black bags and drop off bags of money like that. It's not that simple.
I feel like the point has consistently been made when talking about USAID that it represents such a small portion of our budget for such important soft power. But even if it did cost more money, we're keeping people alive and very easily. We're not shipping, and I know I'm now making the money argument again, but like the cost of the peanut paste that we ship around the world, less than a cent, I think it is to make, which keeps people fed and alive. It is just shocking that Republicans think this is what we need to slash instead of wasteful spending in the Defense Department. They haven't even considered looking at Elon Musk contracts. Of course, they would never do that. But like I said, these programs are essential to the functioning of the world, really. And Republicans are celebrating their demise in the most disgusting way, like we saw right here. Who approved this? Jasmine Crockett slams disgusting House GOP for sharing morbid meme. Jasmine Crockett lashed out at House Republicans after an official House Foreign Affairs Committee's social media account shared a spoof video of Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, and Elon Musk dancing while carrying a casket labeled USAID. In a post to X over the weekend, House Republicans celebrated the demise of U.S. Agency for International Development with the video meme. A message of the post read, MAGA 1, Libs 0. While children starve, civilians suffer. In a post to Twitter over the weekend, House Republicans celebrated the demise of the U.S. Agency for International Development with the video meme. A message on the post read, MAGA 1, Libs 0. While children starve, civilians suffer, and global crises worsen because of their cruelty, the House GOP is out here making memes and playing. Crockett wrote on Monday, "This is disgusting. Who approved this?" Last week, the State Department announced it was formally closing the Foreign Aid Agency after winning a court battle. Unfortunately, USAID strayed from its original mission long ago. As a result, the gains were too few and the costs were too high, Secretary of State Marco Rubio said in a statement. Here we can see the tweet from Jasmine Crockett and the video of Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, and Elon Musk carrying this casket, noticeably in an African nation. So a lot of the commentary around that tweet was the fact that they were carrying this casket. The meme was very purposeful that they were in an African country, because of course that's where millions of children are going to starve and die because of Elon Musk, because of J.D. Vance, because of Donald Trump. And it's the reason that every time Elon says, why are people mad at me? Why do they treat me so poorly? Why does no one like me? Maybe it's because you're not only killing people, but then laughing about it and claiming that that owns the libs, because you're going to starve children in Africa and then make a racist post about it. It's disgusting. And Greg Kazar made this point. The call out he made was emotional and just so spot on that I want to take a listen right here.
I'm going to do something that I've never done in a congressional hearing before, and that is plead for help from the American people, plead for help from my Republican colleagues on something that we actually all agree on, because lives are at stake right now. I'm going to start by describing the facts on the ground. Millions of people are at risk of dying of starvation in areas of the world where Democrats and Republicans have already agreed and committed to feeding them with American-grown food for humanitarian reasons and for global stability. But yesterday, I spoke with people in charge of warehouses in Sudan and Ethiopia, warehouses full of food, but because of Doge, that food is trapped in the warehouse, out of reach of starving and dying moms and kids. In those two countries alone, 150,000 children and moms are at risk of dying this month if that food is not delivered from the warehouse to them right up the road. Everyone agrees that's not supposed to happen. Republicans voted for this food and Democrats voted for this food to get out. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the food should go out as part of his life-saving waiver. Doge Chairwoman Marjorie Taylor Greene started this hearing by saying that life-saving food programs should still be running. We have paid for the food and we have shipped it, and it is sitting trapped in the warehouse because Doge is blocking the payments needed to get the food out to the people who need it. So here's what that means. It means that kids are dying, and more will die tomorrow, of severe acute malnutrition. If you want nightmares, just Google severe acute malnutrition and look at the photos.
The worst people in the world are running our government, and they're celebrating as they break it. It's their plan. I always come back to the quote from Russ Vought, who said he wants government workers to feel traumatized when they come into the office. That's what he wants. That's what they want. They want you to think that government is broken so that they can break it some more, privatize it, and give themselves all the tax cuts they possibly can. That is the end goal of all of this, is a more negative perception of the government. All at the same time as Donald Trump claims that we're in some golden age, that tariffs are going to bring us back, that cutting USAID is going to bring us back. And this is why I find the tariff argument to be so especially stupid, because one of the main groups of people that it hurts, really, there's two. We see manufacturing that Donald Trump is saying is going to come back, and American farming as well. But that's ridiculous considering that Donald Trump cut all of this manufacturing funding out of President Biden's agenda. And he just decided we were getting rid of that from the Inflation Reduction Act, from spending that invests in green energy, green jobs, green manufacturing. Nope, we're getting rid of that. But also, how much money is spent by USAID on purchasing produce and goods from American farmers? Billions. All of that has been wiped out. So don't tell me Donald Trump cares about farmers or is revitalizing American manufacturing when he's going after these programs. Jim McGovern called it out right here.
Mr. Speaker, this rule contains tariffs, and I don't understand why the gentlelady supports these tariffs. She represents a district with over 50,000 farmers, the second most of any member of Congress. And during the last trade war started by Trump, American farmers lost $27 billion in agricultural exports. It's farmers in the gentlelady's district who are being harmed by these tariffs. So I don't understand why she supports them.
There is no consistency in the approach from Trump or MAGA, and of course, why would there be, on any of the actions that they're taking. There is no ideological through line. There is no theory of governance with Donald Trump or Elon Musk. It is just break things and complain and point and scream and yell and essentially make people think that government can't work. And that's why it's not only incumbent upon Democrats, elected officials, and, folks like us in the independent media alike to call out this attack, but also to present a positive image of how government can work. Tim Walz said this in a video we covered just a month ago. When Democrats return to power, when, not if, we need to be bold in what we pass and what we do, and proving that government can work. Sure, it is going to be a big project to fix it after Donald Trump, but we have to show people that there is a positive solution. This is not just about beating this one guy. It is about what we can do, what we can make, what we can build, what we can fix. And that is a message we have to deliver. We're going to talk about it every single day on the show. And if you want to support that and support the independent media we're building here, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video. And if you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.